Hi everybody. Next week we'll see most of the Grand Tour contenders racing either Paris-Nice or Tirreno Adriatico. Paris-Nice features 8 stages, attracting 2 main Tour de France contenders, Primoz Roglic and Remco Evenepoel, as well as some other notable names including Schielmoze and Almeida. Vingegaard opted for Tirreno Adriatico, as did some other names, including the Yates brothers Mas, Martinez and Hindley. Pogačar skips both and will ride the Volta Ciclista a Catalunya later in March. I ran a poll on our community page to find out for which of these 2 races you wanted to see daily stage predictions, which provided a clear verdict, so Paris-Nice it will be. A big shout out to all those who expressed their opinion, much appreciated. The racing starts with a stage on the 3rd of March, 158k and just short of 1700 meters of elevation gain. Undulating all day, yet none of the climbs are steep or long, so the teams with a versatile sprinter will be looking to control this one. Riders like Pedersen, De Lee, Thijssen, Matthews and Kooi will be looking to smash this one. Stage 2 will be for the pure sprinters, and we have a very deep sprinters field lining up here, more on that later. Stage 3 presents the riders with a 27k long fairly straightforward team time trial, featuring roughly 400 meters of elevation gain. Stage 4 then is a proper 183k sawtooth stage, featuring 5 second category climbs, a first category climb which crests with around 20k to go, to descend into the second category Montbrouilly, 3 kilometers of climbing averaging 7.7%. All in all, there's 3,345 meters of elevation gain to cover in this stage. Depending on the race situation going into the stage, this is going to be break versus the GC teams. Also on stage 5, a break will form, and if there's no danger in there on GC, it may even stick. Pre-race, I'm going to call this one for the versatile sprinters though. At 2,270 meters of elevation gain, there's a fair bit of climbing, yet in my book it never gets steep enough to trouble a proper versatile sprinter. On stage 6, we get another 200k stage on medium mountain terrain, which has high chances to go to a punchy pocket climber type of rider. Breaking free on the Côte à la Colle-sur-Loup, nearly 2k at 10%, after which it keeps on going up and gets another steep pinch in the tail, from where it descends over 20k into the finish. Stage 7 is the queen stage of this year's Paris-Nice and full-on GC time. This 173k stage features 4,100 meters of elevation gain, crossing the first category Col Saint-Martin and finishing atop the first category Oron. This is GC time and will most certainly be the decisive stage. And finally, stage 8, we get a classic 110k short yet brutal mountain stage in the Alpes Maritimes around Nice. With the top of the first category Col des Quatre Chemins, 3.6k at nearly 9% average, sitting around 10k from the finish line. Also this one is almost certainly going to go to the GC man. If it's still tight going into this stage, you can expect an all-out war in the fight for the GC standings. So to summarize, without knowing the actual race situation, we have 1 team time trial, and I expect us to be getting 2 versatile sprint stages, 1 pure sprint stage, a stage for the punchy guys, and 3 mountain stages, 2 for the GC men and 1 potentially going to the break. Here's the main fast man to watch at this year's Paris-Nice, which has a very packed sprinters lineup, starting with Arvid de Klein at Tudor, one of the most consistent sprinters in the UAE Tour, Groenewegen and Matthews at Jaiko Alula, De Lee at Lotto Destiny, and with Welsford not lining up here, I'm expecting Van Poppel up front. Besides these, we have Pedersen, Groves, Kokar, Jacobsen and Kooi, and also watch out for Akkerman at Israel Premier Tech, Pitti at FDG, Kanter at Astana, Bennett at AG2R, Marijn van den Berg at EF, Gerben Thijssen at Intermarché and Demar at Arkea. Here's an overview of the winners of the former 10 editions, with the Grenadiers having been the dominant team here, with wins for Thomas, Henao and Bernal. We have 3 former winners lining up, Primoz Roglic, Marc Soler and Egan Bernal, and some notable riders who've done well here in the past, notably the Izagirre brothers, Jack Haig, Vogelsang, Gaudu and Vlasov. Betting odds were not yet available at the time of recording, yet here's the riders to watch in my book. Starting with one of the 2 main favorites, Remco Evenepoel at Soudal Quickstep, starting the season in good shape and winning the Algarve ahead of Dani Martinez, who managed to beat him to the line on 2 mountaintop finishes. There's no sprinters on their lineup, so they're all in on Remco. Then we move to Egan Bernal at the Ineos Grenadiers, who is getting back to his old self, 3rd in the Gran Camino, more than 2 minutes behind Vingegaard though, and 16 seconds behind Lenny Martinez, who finished the race in 2nd. Almeida, who is lining up with a strong team here. Vine and McNulty missed out their shot at the UAE Tour, so I expect them to ride for Almeida here, while being solid top 10 contenders themselves. At Visma Lease Bike, they'll be fine-tuning the Koi train and expect Matteo Jorgensen to go for GC. He was 8th here on last year's edition. At Bahrain, we'll be watching the Bilbao Buitrago Haig trio, amongst which Bilbao seems to be best placed. 6th in Valenciana and 3rd in the UAE Tour are some solid results. Michael Storer at Tudor, who rode into 6th on the UAE Tour. And then obviously the second main favourite, Primoz Roglic, who's lining up here for his first race of the season with Vlasov at his side. Also keep an eye on Guerrero at Movistar as an outsider for the top 10. Godu doesn't have to share the team with Bennett this year around. He only made it to 18th though in the Gran Camino, so I'm not expecting too much from him. Both of the Izagirre brothers have done well here in the past, and even though Jon has been focusing on stages more recently, I'd love to see him giving a shot at GC. Also watch out for Luke Plapp at Jaiko Alula and Skjelmose at Trek. Finally, Felix Gall at AG2R. He was sticking with Ayuso in the Ardèche Classic, so he's clearly coming into the season in good shape. In terms of stars, Roglic and Evenepoel are my 4-star favorites. Almeida gets 3 stars. Bernal and Vlasov get 2 stars. And Bilbao, Vine, Gall, Jorgensen and Skjelmose each get 1 star. For the podium, I'm going to go with a win for Roglic. In my book, he remains the best when it comes to one-week stage races, and Evenepoel often has an off day in these early season races. He'll share the podium with Evenepoel and Almeida. Thanks for watching and see you soon for my Stage 1 preview as well as a Tirreno Adriatico GC preview.